Welcome to the TOEFL Listening section. In this section, you will listen to an academic lecture and then answer questions about what you heard. You may take notes while you listen. You will have time to review your notes before answering the questions. Listen to part of a lecture in a university class. You will hear the lecture only once, so listen carefully. After the lecture, you will answer some questions about what you heard. Some questions ask about the main ideas and supporting details. Other questions ask you to make inferences or connections between ideas. Answer each question based on what is stated or implied in the lecture.
Good morning, everyone. Today we will trace the evolution of ballet from court dance to the modern forms we see on stage today. I will focus on several key moments and figures that changed technique, repertoire, and institutions, while illustrating how historical context shaped aesthetic shifts. Ballet began as court dance in the Italian and French courts during the 16th and 17th centuries, where aristocratic spectacle emphasized pattern, social order, and display. A pivotal figure in early French ballet was Louis XIV, who established the Académie Royale de Danse in 1661, which professionalized training and performance. Under court patronage, dance moved from informal pageantry to staged performances, with set choreography and trained performers. And this shift created the conditions for technical codification. In the 19th century, the Romantic era brought new stylistic priorities, with an emphasis on the ethereal female dancer, as in La Sylphide and Giselle. Pointe technique became central to this aesthetic, allowing dancers to appear weightless and otherworldly, and the tutu and lighting played a role in the illusion. Later in the same century, Marius Petipa, working in Russia, synthesized and codified a classical vocabulary that emphasized formal lines, symmetry, and staged grand pas de deux. When Marius Petipa codified the classical vocabulary in the late 19th century, he set standards for symmetry, formal technique, and the primacy of the corps de ballet. Petipa collaborated with composers like Tchaikovsky to produce works that remain central to the classical repertory, such as Sleeping Beauty and Swan Lake, in somewhat revised forms. The early 20th century brought another turning point, with Sergei Diaghilev and his Ballets Russes, who challenged narrative conventions and promoted interdisciplinary collaboration with composers, artists, and designers. Diaghilev worked with figures like Stravinsky, Nijinsky, and Picasso, and this experimental approach influenced choreographic language and staging, making ballet more adventurous. Mid-20th century choreographers, such as George Balanchine, developed neoclassical ballet, which reduced elaborate sets and narrative to emphasize speed, musicality, and abstract form. Balanchine created works that foregrounded musical structure and pure dance phrases, often extending classical technique into new spatial and rhythmic demands. From the late 20th century onward, choreographers like William Forsythe and emerging contemporary companies introduced improvisation and deconstruction of classical lines, while still using pointe and classical steps. Throughout this history, training methods such as the Vaganova and Cicchetti approaches codified pedagogy and allowed ballet to spread and diversify globally. In conclusion, ballet evolution is a story of institutional change, technical codification, and creative reinvention, from court spectacle to the pluralistic field we encounter today. Understanding these phases helps us see how repertoire technique and audience expectations have been reshaped repeatedly, and how the past remains active in present practice.
Listen again to part of the lecture. Then answer the question.
When Marius Petipa codified the classical vocabulary in the late 19th century, he set standards for symmetry, formal technique, and the primacy of the corps de ballet.
This concludes the listening section. For more TOEFL practice tests and study materials, visit spinta.org.